Game number 1 started between ReIGN Perfect and Evil Genius's IdrA, so let's go ahead and take things away.
Alright, so we do have Perfect spawning at the 12 o'clock position. He is going to be our green Protoss, and his opponent over at the 3 o'clock, our blue Zerg. We have Evil Genius's IdrA, who will hopefully be staying throughout the remainder of this game.
Yep. Absolutely. Everyone now, I mean, it's popular to say, it's popular to talk about, but everyone kind of wonders, is IdrA going to leave a game a little bit prematurely? I even liked what he said not too recently, or pretty recently, when he said that he's just going to let people have a little bit more time to make mistakes. So
yeah, exactly. And that's really what it's all about. You know, in StarCraft, it's funny, the way IdrA would explain himself, he'd be like, you know, but if I'm playing against a player of his caliber, he would never make a mistake. And if the game were to play out perfectly, he would win no matter what. But that's the thing about StarCraft. Games never play out perfectly.
You're exactly right.
No two players are perfect. A game will never unfold the way that you think it will in StarCraft. It just doesn't happen.
Let's think about the infamous MMA versus IdrA at Columbus. MMA kills his own CC.
Yeah.
Do you think he had a shot at winning that game?
And MMA is probably one of the best players around. I mean, if you were to pick a player that wasn't going to make a mistake, he would be at the forefront of that list.
Yeah.
And he made one of the biggest mistakes in StarCraft 2 history and got away with it.
Because IdrA had to one-up him. But nonetheless, IdrA putting down a spawning pool on 14, and then he's going to go ahead and drop down another structure after that, but Perfect is just starting with his gateway at the wall, going to leave a nice little spot for his Zealots. IdrA, of course, sees all, knows right where his opponent is, but the map is Metalopolis, and we are using the MLG variant of that, so no close spawns, no worries about that. I think we picked a very solid map pool. Now, I will give a little bit of a note. This is a loser picks format, but the teams were actually not aware of that at first. There was a little bit of miscommunication, so they went along a set map rotation, and I believe during this set that the same map is played twice. That will not happen in future weeks, but that's why it happens here.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. It will be taken care of. And we have Perfect getting a rather late gas here. I believe he dropped that on 17, so going with a very high economy build thus far. Probably going to get that Cybo core down and then head up to 3 gateways and expand. I mean, that's a very safe expansion build on Metalopolis. Metalopolis, one of those maps with a wide berth around the natural. So players almost have to do that 3-gate expand. It's very difficult to get away with anything else on this map.
Absolutely, and Perfect drops down a pylon now just to be as annoying as possible, but IdrA's going to clean that up pretty easily, drops down the hatchery after that. Now, Perfect, on the other hand, he's just creating, that's what I was waiting for, is his second gas is coming down, so it looks like he is going to go after the 3-gate expand that you were talking about before. A lot of sentries are going to be the order of the day, and frankly, that's going to be what he has to do, and I've been loving the recent sentry play. A lot of players going for a lot more aggressive early sentries as well, even higher composition. TT1 was the first guy I saw that was really using that, but it's been very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. TT1 definitely one of those players that is so annoying with his sentries. I mean, he will hit force fields that other players really just don't hit. And playing against him is so frustrating because if you overcommit for just a split second, he will segment your army in half, take that portion for free, and then you're in a very tricky situation after that.
Yeah, certainly.
Not a forgiving player at all.
No, not at all. And had the pleasure to watch him as well. Actually, Destiny was the one who eliminated him from MLG Anaheim this weekend. It was a pretty big moment for Destiny, actually. And, Perfect does put down the Nexus just before that probe was killed.
I thought he was going to lose it before he was able to drop the Nexus, and that would have been a very cute play from IdrA right there. But alas, it will survive, and he will get that Nexus down, and he's getting that Nexus down off a 1-gate FE.
Now, I've talked to some Protoss players about that, and they actually have been liking the 1-gate FE against instead of the traditional 3-gate that we've been seeing over the past couple of months.
I totally agree with you, but I think Metalopolis is a map that almost requires the 3-gate FE, and I know I touched on this earlier in the game. You'll see players go for that 1-gate FE on maps like Shakuras, where it's relatively safe. On, perhaps Shattered Temple. Actually, still a little bit risky on Shattered Temple. If anything, I would say Shattered Temple and Metalopolis are the 2 maps where a 3-gate FE is almost necessary. Now, We do see IdrA building quite a few Zerglings here, and I think IdrA knows that he did not go with the 3-gate fast expand. He has an Overlord in his base and one on the other side. So he's going to take this opportunity to try and inflict some damage here with these Speedlings, and I think he's going to be able to, and this is due to the fact that Perfect did not 3-gate expand. He got a little ahead of himself.
Oh, no!
And they all got into the main, and they will kill these sentries, and that is why you 3-gate FE or leave your sentries at the front. You can't pull them all back to kill an Overlord.
If he had one unit there, he would have been fine, but you're absolutely right. He makes the mistake, costly mistake, losing most of his sentries, only one remaining, and looks like another one fresh out of the gateway. Ooh, almost goes down. This pylon
both those
going
gateways
to be
will be depowered, and that is absolutely crucial for IdrA here. And he is just killing all the sentries. Now all the probes are going to go down, and I can't help but think that IdrA sent that Overlord in there to bait the sentries out, and this is something that you will see a player not familiar with a trick like that fall for. And I think very, very high-level moves like that are what set the greats apart. And IdrA baited him beautifully. He pulled all the sentries, and now he's just suffering so much damage here. We've had... How many sentries were picked off there?
Maybe
four or
four or
five
five
sentries. An additional 3 or 4 probes. He lost the pylon, depowered the gateways. He wasn't able to Maynard probes over to his natural. I mean, he just suffered damage in so many different ways right there.
Yep, 11 workers killed as well. IdrA's taking the moment to expand after that, so he is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of his opponent. Can play a very safe game from here on that because Perfect has to make something happen.
We look at the production tab here. You know, we have quite a few things on the way for IdrA right now. Perfect doing virtually nothing. I don't know why Perfect is moving out here. This is extremely risky. IdrA could potentially surround all of these units with Speedlings and kill them, and in the event that that happens, you know, Perfect will not be able to recover. Perfect needs to be playing a passive macro style right now. He's so far behind. I think he's getting a little bit ahead of himself, and if he gets these units caught here and he loses them, he's going to be out of this game.
And IdrA is coming in. He has the 3 queens. A couple of good force fields go down. That's going to allow both these queens to go down. But the roaches are going to swing in from the back, and Perfect has to get out of there now. He's made his gains. He killed the queens. He has to retreat, sticking behind to pick off a couple of Zerglings before he gets off a creep, and that may cost him a little bit as roaches are now pursuing.
Yeah, now IdrA is moving in with a pretty hefty roach squad here. Perfect continuing with this aggression. It's too bad that IdrA didn't queue up a bunch of lings right there, because he actually would have been able to surround and kill off that army. He obviously doesn't have speed yet for his roaches, but at the bare minimum, these roaches will be able to hold anything off. So he's not going to lose his natural. He will be able to defend here successfully, and he will lose an Overlord right there and get supply capped for a little bit, but we do have 10 Overlords. Or no, we have 3 Overlords on the way right now, so he won't be supply capped for very long. And Perfect down 69 to 89 in the supplies right now, so he's going to have to make that up a little bit and hopefully take a third pretty soon here.
Yeah, he's down by 16 workers at the moment. That is getting a little bit closer, but IdrA's still plenty far ahead. He's even putting down a macro hatch this time. He knows he can just build up a huge force off of these 3 bases and just outright kill his opponent, as these roaches don't really have a counter on the field. Perfect is going after that Robo and Forge at the moment, trying to produce as many probes as he can, but that tech is going to come at the cost of a sheer number of units, and IdrA's going to have a nice window where he can just walk up and obliterate his opponent, even putting up a bunch of lings and roaches right now. Oh, wow, tons of roaches being constructed.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see IdrA try and hit a timing window here. We have a ton of units in the queue right now, and ReIGN Perfect is moving out at not so perfect of a time. This is not going to be good for him. I know, I have to do those. I have to do those. He's going to be able to catch him here off guard, and he might be able to pinch him up against the wall here. And in the event that he surrounds him, this is going to be terrible for Perfect. Dropping some good force fields right there, but getting surrounded by these Zerglings. And as soon as those force fields go down, IdrA's going to be able to move in with the rest of his roaches and just absolutely annihilate him.
Wow, without any of the roach support, he was able to pick off a couple of sentries and a couple of stalkers alone. That means these roaches are more than enough to clean up the rest. Perfect knows that he's running away as fast as he can. He was committing to a Robo Bay as well, which means that he has nothing coming out of that robotics facility, just the first Immortal on its way. These roaches are going to make quick work, though, of anything he has up.
Yeah, and there's no way he's going to be able to stop a roach army of this size. Speed is done for the roaches now, and they are just ravaging through the natural right now. He's going to get this Robo as well. Immortal does come out, but it has absolutely no screening, and it will get taken out immediately. And he needed that Immortal very bad, and GG